गुरुराराधनादिश्च गुरुः परमदैवतं गुरोः परतरं नास्ति कृपालु गुरवे नमः। वर्हापीडं नटवरवपुः कर्णयोः कर्णिकारम् बिभ्रद्वासः कनककपिशं वैजयन्तीं च मालाम् रन्ध्रान् वेणोरधर सुधया पूरयन् गोपवृन्दैर्वृन्दारण्यं स्वपदरमणं प्राविशद् गीतकीर्तिः। यो ब्रह्माणं विदधाति पूर्वं यो वै वेदांश्च प्रहिणोति तस्मै तग्वंह देवमात्मबुद्धिप्रकाशं मुमुक्षुर्वै शरणमहं प्रपद्ये। Dear devotees of Sri Radha and Krishna, this is a very important night that we are celebrating. It is the night of Sharad Poornima. It's a full moon night. This night is extremely important for something that took place 5,000 years ago on this very night. Shri Krishna performed the Maharas dance with the gopis, alongside with Radharani, his Hladini Shakti. But what Shri Krishna did on this most fascinating night 5,000 years ago was not just a dance. It wasn't just music and dance. It was much more than that. Shri Krishna gave the sweetest happiness, the sweetest bliss of love to the most deserving devotees on this very night. This is why the world will always know about this night, and the world will always celebrate Sharad Poornima. There are many levels of happiness, beginning from happiness found in this world. Saishanandasya mimansa bhavati yuvat syat sadhu yuvadhyayakah ashishto dradhishto balishto tasyayam prithvi sarvavittasya purna syat sa eko manusha anandah. Taittiriya Upanishad says, suppose that there was a man who was ruling over the entire world, the whole world, not just one country. And suppose that he not only rules over the entire world, he is extremely good looking, very good looking. He is very popular, everyone loves him. He is very well educated, he is very wise. He is very virtuous, extremely healthy. He has everything going for him. So he would be considered to be the happiest person in the world. But there are many levels of happiness. In fact, 10 more levels of happiness that are found in the realm of Maya. The realm of Maya extends right up to Brahmalok, the abode of Brahma. And there are many lok or abodes in between, from here to there. So Taittiriya Upanishad tells us that there is Manush Anand. There is the happiness which is the greatest happiness that can be found on this earth. Then beyond that, there are many levels. There's a Manushya Gandharva Lok. Then there's Deva Gandharva Lok. Then there's Pitri Lok. Then there's Ajanaj Deva Lok. Then there is the seat of Karmadev, then there's the seat of Nityadev, then the seat of Indra, seat of Brihaspati, the seat of Prajapati, and then finally the happiness found in Brahmalok, the abode of Brahma. Do not be confused with the term Brahmalok. It does not mean the abode of Brahma. It means the abode of Brahma, the creator, the creative energy of God. Brahma refers to the nameless and formless aspect of God. Brahma refers to the creator. For every Brahmand, there is a Brahma. There's a Vishnu, there's a Shankar. This is the Trinity, Brahma, Vishnu, Shankar, creator, protector, destroyer. So the abode of Brahma is Brahmalok. It is the highest abode in this Maya lok, within the realm of Maya. Brahma himself is divine, but his abode, his kingdom, is not. And in his kingdom, there is the greatest happiness that can be found, the greatest material happiness. In comparison, the greatest happiness found on earth is completely insignificant. Because I just mentioned to you, in an ascending order of excellence, the various levels of happiness that go beyond the happiness of this world. So, Brahmalok. Is there real happiness in Brahmalok? Shri Krishna says in the Gita, no. A Brahma Bhuvana Loka Punaravartino Arjuna Mamupetya tu Kaunteya Punarjanma na Vidyate. In chapter 8, this is verse number 16, and Shri Krishna is telling Arjun, O Arjun, all the abodes from Brahmalok downwards are subject to destruction. True happiness cannot be found in any one of these abodes, not even in Brahmalok. Now, beyond Brahmalok, there is the divine abode. The divine lok begin after Brahmalok. When this realm of Maya ends, there is a river called Birja Nadi. When you cross that river, that is where the divine abode, the divine kingdom begins. Now that happiness, let's refer to it as bliss, to distinguish it from worldly happiness, pleasures and joys that we term happiness. So, real happiness, bliss, begins with the divine abode. But even in the divine abode, we find that there are three aspects of God: Brahma, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. In an ascending order of excellence: Brahma, Paramatma, Bhagavan. Brahma is nameless and formless, but the bliss of Brahma is no doubt unlimited. It is unlimited. It has no limits. It is everlasting. Once you attain Brahmanand, the bliss of Brahma, when you merge within Brahma, you receive Brahmanand, and that bliss is for all eternity. It is forever, and it is unlimited. But it is not as sweet as the bliss found in Vaikunthalok. That is the abode of Paramatma, the abode of Mahavishnu, who has a name and form, but there's a lot of majesty in Mahavishnu. So if someone worships Mahavishnu aspect of God, the yogis do that, then he would attain Vaikunthalok after death. And all the demons that are killed by the Supreme Lord, they're all sent to Vaikunthalok, to live there forever. That happiness is also unlimited and everlasting, but it is much greater than Brahmanand. And finally, we have Premanand. This is the bliss of love. This is where Bhagavan comes in, the Bhagavan aspect of God, the sweetest, the most loving, the most personal aspect of God. We can become close and personal with Bhagavan, and especially with Bhagavan Sri Krishna. His abode, his kingdom is Golok, and that is the ultimate abode. There is nothing beyond Golok, nothing. That's it. Beyond Golok, there is nothing. So in Golok, there are many different types of devotees living there. There are different levels depending on the kind of love that they have loved Sri Krishna with. We all have a choice. We can love Sri Krishna as our loving master, mother and father also. That is Dasya Bhav. We can love him as our friend. This is Sakhya Bhav. We can love him as our child, Vatsalya Bhav. We can love him as a beloved, Madhurya Bhav. The ones who have loved Sri Krishna as the master and as a loving mother and father, theirs is a separate level in Golok. Higher is the level of those who have loved him as a dear friend, dearest friend, eternal friend, Sakhya Bhav. Their level is still higher. Higher level belongs to those who have loved him as a child, Vatsalya Bhav. But the highest level of bliss is tasted in Golok by those who have loved Sri Krishna as the beloved and who love him as the beloved. Now, even amongst those highest devotees, the Madhurya Bhav devotees, there are those who have loved him with a tinge of selfishness. And then there are those who have loved him completely unselfishly. The sweetest bliss is tasted by those who have loved Sri Krishna and who do love him with no selfish motive. They love him more than they love themselves. From him they expect nothing, and to him they wish to give all happiness. And their feeling is that their beloved should be happy at all times. There should be a smile on his face. Even if they suffer due to absence from him, they want to make him happy. These are the highest devotees. These gopis are at the highest level. And on earth, when Sri Krishna descended 5,000 years ago, he performed the Maharas, and the selfless devotees, the selfless gopis, were part of that Maharas. They are the ones who tasted the sweetest happiness that Sri Krishna can ever give to any individual soul. Jagadguru Sri Kripaluji Maharaj says, Rati samartha ki gopi bana de, ras mein naam mera likha de. O Sri Krishna, make me a samartha rati gopi. There are many classes of gopis, mainly four. There is a Nitya Siddha Gopi, Nitya Siddha Gopi, also known as Prasada Rupa Gopi. This is a gopi who has descended from Golok along with Radha and Krishna. And she has always lived in Golok. She has never been under the control of Maya. Secondly, there is Sadhan Siddha Gopi. One day she attained the nectar of Maharas. Then there is Shruti Rupa Gopi. These are the Vedic verses that have taken the female form. They have assumed the form of gopis. And then there is Prakirna Gopi. There are 4 levels of gopis. The only gopis who were part of the Maharas were the gopis who were completely selfless. What happened was that Sri Krishna played the flute in Vrindavan. The word Vrindavan means Tulsi ka van. Vrinda means Tulsi, one is jungle. So jungle where Tulsi grows in abundance, that is Vrindavan. In Vrindavan, Sri Krishna stood in all his glory and all his sweetness and all his beauty, and he played the flute so sweetly and in such a way that only the deserving gopis heard the sound. he played the flute at midnight on Sharad Poornima night. And the sound of the flute reached the ears of only the selfless gopis. And when the gopi heard the sound of the flute, she let go of everything that she was doing, whatever she was doing. If she was feeding her child, if she was pacifying her child who was crying, she just left the child there, crying. If she was putting on her ornaments or taking them off, then no matter what she was doing, she left the ornaments and she just ran. If she was talking to someone, she just left in mid-conversation. Whatever she was doing, she renounced and she left. Because the sound of the flute was so magical. It was divine. And the gopi could not help herself. It was as if her pran, her life itself, was being yanked out of her body and somebody's running with it. She had to follow. She had to go. And she had to run in the direction where the sound of the flute was coming. And all the gopis who heard the sound immediately ran, and none of them talked to one another. It wasn't as if people, when they come to satsang, they ask one another, "Are you going to satsang? Yes? Okay, I'll come with you. You're not going? I don't feel so well today." We look for company on the path of devotion. We should not. Just like the gopis. They didn't ask one another, "Where are you going? And at midnight? Are you going to the same place? Did you have the same experience? Did you hear the sound of the flute?" There was no such conversation. They were in a samadhi, a very unique samadhi, prem samadhi. And the Bhagavad tells us this, that the gopis heard the sound of the flute and then they rushed. They rushed to Vrindavan, where the Supreme Lord was standing. And if there was a gopi whose husband stopped her, "Stop, where are you going?" What could she have done? She could not run away. So she left her body. "Look, you're the husband of the body. You keep the body. I am going." The soul left. She left the body behind. And Sri Krishna himself he assumed the form of every husband of every gopi. Rather, he assumed the form of a gopi. So in every house where the deserving gopi was, the husband thought that his wife is laying down right beside him. She's right here and she has not gone anywhere. But actually, Lord Krishna had assumed the form of those gopis. So no one was wiser for it. Everyone thought, the gopi is right here at home, sleeping. But she had left. And the ones who were stopped, they left their bodies behind and they left. And when the gopis reached Vrindavan, they saw Sri Krishna, who seemed to be unaware of anything that was going on. He seemed very surprised to see them. And he said, "Swagatam." Welcome, welcome. "Swagatam vo mahabhaga priyam kinkaravanivaha." O highly blessed ones, O highly blessed gopis, Swagatam, welcome, welcome. But tell me, I'm puzzled. What brings you here in the middle of the night? Is everything all right in Braj? Is there perhaps some demon that is tormenting you and you need my protection? Because so many demons had been tormenting the inhabitants of Braj. Right from the time when Sri Krishna was 6 days old, Poornima had come at that time, and from that time a string of demons had been sent by Kans with the purpose of killing the child, the divine child. And Sri Krishna had killed them one by one very playfully. He wasn't going to use any weapon. He just killed them very playfully. He would enter the mouth of the demon, and he would extend his body, and then he extended his body to such an extent that the demon's body burst into pieces. He used very playful methods to slay these demons. So is everything okay in Braj? Is there some demon, perchance, that is tormenting you? And the gopis were surprised, to say the least. Here he is, he's playing the flute in such a way that we had to leave our homes and families. We've come to him, our beloved, and he's asking us, what brings you here? This is not proper. Shri Krishna is testing the gopis. Let's see if they will leave. If I convince them to leave, if I try to convince them, will they leave? If I tell them that it does not befit married women to be with another man in the middle of a forest, in the middle of the woods at midnight, this is very improper behavior, will they leave? Thinking, what will the world think? What will people say behind my back? And I will never know people will be talking behind my back. The gopis did not care for that. So Shri Krishna reminded them, after playfully asking them, oh, have you come here to behold this wondrous beauty of Vrindavan tonight? Drishtam vanam kusumitam rakesha kararanjitam yamuna nila leelai chattaru pallava shobhitam. Perhaps you've come here to appreciate the unique beauty of nature in Vrindavan tonight. Vrindavan has never looked so beautiful. It is autumn season, but look, the summertime flowers and springtime flowers are in bloom. This is very, very surprising. And the Yamuna is so calm, and there's a gentle and fragrant breeze blowing. It's a wonderful night. And there's a full moon. Vrindavan has never looked so beautiful. So, have you come here to appreciate this wondrous beauty? The gopis were still quiet. So Shri Krishna then reminded them of their responsibilities. He said, your cows and calves are waiting for you at home. Your children must be crying without you. Your husbands must be wondering where their wives are. You should go. Tadyata machiram. Don't delay your departure. Go right away. You've come here, but this was a mistake, and now you should go back. The gopis have some tears in their eyes, and they're digging the earth with their toenails. And they're wondering, what is he saying? What is he saying? Then he told them, look, dushilo durbhago vriddho jado rogya dhano piva patistribhirnaha tavyo loke psubhirapataki. A woman should never renounce her husband, no matter how ill he may be, how sickly he may be, how old he may be, how ill-behaved he may be. It doesn't matter how he is, how unfortunate he may be. A woman should never renounce her husband unless he's a sinner. He said very quietly, unless he's a sinner. Pataki. And the gopis are thinking, and they're going to tell him later on, Lord, our husbands do not want us to come to you. And anyone who stops another from going towards God is the biggest sinner. So you're saying that we should not renounce our husbands unless they're sinners. Well, the biggest sin is stopping someone from going towards God. And you are the Supreme Lord. So our husbands have been proven to be sinners. So Maharaj, what are you saying really? The gopis know everything because the lowest ones amongst them, even the ones at the lowest level, they are the verses of the Vedas, reading which one becomes jnani, one becomes knowledgeable. And Lord Krishna is testing these gopis. He's reminding them of their duties. He is saying to them, you know, people will talk behind your back and they will criticize you. You'll be condemned by society at large. And once you die, the doors of Swargalok will be closed for you. You will never attain Swargalok, gopis, so think about your actions. And after Lord Krishna had tried every which way to dissuade them from staying, he had finished testing them. And they, the gopis, the selfless gopis, they had passed with flying colors. And then they spoke to him. They said, "It does not befit you. You are Bhagwan, and it doesn't befit you to speak in this way to us. Do you not know that you are the real beloved? You are the real husband. Suppose there is a woman. Her husband leaves a city or town to seek employment somewhere else. And she fashions an image of her husband with clay. She makes a murti of her husband. And she worships that murti. A few months later, the husband comes home. He knocks at the door, but she doesn't even open the door because she's so busy worshipping his murti. Wouldn't you call her foolish? Shri Krishna said, yes. The real husband is out there and she's worshipping a murti that she has made out of clay. She should open the door because the real husband is out there. Shri Krishna said, yes, indeed. The gopi said, well, this is what has happened to us. We have had countless husbands and countless wives and countless children, countless relatives in countless previous lives. And now we have found you, the true beloved, who is not only the beloved, but you are everything to us. Tvameva mata cha pita tvameva bandhushcha sakha tvameva. And tvameva sarvam mama deva deva. You alone are mother, father, brother, friend. You alone are everything. Mohi tohi nate anek. You and I have countless relationships. And now we have found you after countless lives, and you're asking us to leave? You want us to go to the clay murti, and here you are, the real thing, you are here, and we should go back, we should go to the clay image? Maharaj, it does not fit you to speak these words before us. On the one hand, the gopis are calling him Bhagavan, God. And on the other, they're scolding him. You shouldn't be talking like this, Bhagwan. You are Bhagwan, you are God, and you should not be speaking like this. And Shri Krishna is smiling. He loves to test his devotees. He was testing them. God tests his devotees. Guru tests his disciples. If he does not test his disciple, then he's not a guru. He's a teacher of the highest caliber because he teaches about God. And if he does not test his students, if he leaves them in the comfort zone, then he's not a guru. Then the disciple would never make any progress. When the guru tests the disciple, then the disciple passes the test. Then the disciple is graduating to a next level, and then further, another level, and higher level, until the guru makes sure that the disciple reaches Lord Krishna's abode. If there is no test, if we are always in our comfort zone, everything's fine, there is nothing demanded of me, I am not at all uncomfortable, I am just leading my life, I am a disciple of a great guru, but I don't like to be tested. If that is our feeling, then we can never make any progress. Jagatguru Sri Kripaluji Maharaj always tested his disciples. And by testing them, he made them progress on the devotional path. And God always tests his devotees. So Shri Krishna is testing his dearest devotees. 1 year earlier, he had performed the Chiraharan Leela. He had tested the self-surrender of the gopis. And the ones who had passed the test, to them he had internally promised that he would give them the sweetest nectar of the Maharas. And now the time has come, but he's still testing them. And mind you, some gopis did go home. They left, they went home. some of them. The ones who remained, they were completely selfless, and they are the ones who were given the sweetest nectar that God can give to any individual soul. That is the nectar of the Maharas. This nectar is so sweet that even Bhagwan Shankar renounces his abode, Mount Kailash, and he comes down to Vrindavan, and he is denied entrance. The gopi who is standing guard asks him, "Who are you?" Bhagwan Shankar says, "I am Shankar." Which Shankar? Of which Brahmand? Oh, the gopi is asking me which Shankar? And the gopi asks us, "You are not allowed because you are a male, and the only male in Maharas is Sri Krishna. And indeed, the only male in existence is Sri Krishna." The Bhagavatam says, "Govinda eva purusho brahmadyah striya eva hi." Govind, Sri Krishna is the only Purush. The rest all, Brahma, Vishnu, Shankar, everyone is a female. Only he is the object of worship, and everyone worships him. Everyone worships Sri Krishna. So Shankar Bhagwan was sent to Radharani. She is the Maharani. Without her permission, Maharaj cannot take place. Sri Krishna places his mukut, his crown, he takes it off, places it at the lotus feet of Radharani, and begs for permission by placing his head at her lotus feet. Then Maharani Radharani gives her permission. "Yes, beloved, you may start the Maharas." And then Sri Krishna begins. So the gopi sends Bhagwan Shankar to Radharani, and Radharani says, "Yes, you are deserving of Maharas, but you must assume the female form." Now, nothing is difficult, nothing is impossible for Bhagwan Shankar, so he assumed the female form. Earlier he was known as Shiv, now he's known as Shivani. And so Bhagwan Shankar is so attracted by the Maharas that he renounces his samadhi. "Oh, I don't care about my samadhi." He leaves it, he comes out of it, and he becomes Shivani to taste the sweetest nectar of the Maharas. So the Maharas is not just a dance which is depicted by many people in the world. Maharas signifies the distribution of the sweetest nectar of God, beyond which there is no nectar. We think that we will be made happy if we attain perfect health and great amounts of wealth, and if we have many, many friends and wonderful family members, and if we are endowed with lots of intelligence, we think we would be happy. But we would still be dissatisfied. As I mentioned earlier from Taittiriya Upanishad, there are 10 more levels of happiness in the abode of Maya, beyond the greatest happiness found on this earth. Then beyond that is the happiness, the bliss of Brahma, the impersonal absolute. Beyond that, there are so many other levels of divine bliss. And finally, there is the bliss of the Maharas that Sri Krishna gives. And beyond this, there is no happiness. So on this night of Sharad Poornima, the full moon night, Purnatam Purushottam Bhagwan Sri Krishna had distributed the sweetest nectar to the most deserving devotees, the Nishkam gopis. When a human being, when an ordinary person does something, it may be very important, but in time it is forgotten. When a very great person does something, people remember it for maybe 100 years or a little bit more. When God does something, it is remembered forever. Forever. Everyone will always know about Maharas. Shri Krishna always performs a Maharas when he descends to earth towards the end of the Dwapar Yuga. Maharas has not happened only once. It has happened countless times, but we have never tasted the nectar of Maharas. Maybe we have, you might ask. How do we know we've never tasted that nectar? If we had ever tasted that nectar, we would not have come back to this world looking for happiness in money and in a person or in material objects. Once you taste the sweetest nectar, you don't ever want something lower. Let's say that you have a pair of shoes. You loved them once, but they are 2 years old. Now they're getting holes in them. And when people say, "Oh, you're wearing holy shoes," they make remarks like that. Then you say, no, I'm going to buy a new pair. You buy a new pair, you're no longer enamored with the old pair. The tattered ones, you throw them away. Even in the world, when we receive a greater happiness, we automatically let go of a lower happiness. If we had received the highest happiness, Maharasras, we would not be back here in this world. We would be in Golok. We would be completely satisfied and we would be receiving that happiness for all eternity. Not only is that happiness unlimited and everlasting, because remember I had told you that Brahmanand is unlimited and everlasting. So if Maharasras is also unlimited and everlasting, then what is the difference? Good question. The difference is that while Brahmanand is unlimited and everlasting, yet it is stagnant. But Maharasras, that bliss is unlimited, everlasting, and, this is an important one, and ever increasing. It's always increasing. The Maharasras, the ultimate nectar, it is always increasing. With every moment that passes, it increases. And it never ends. It always increases. It becomes bigger and bigger and bigger, and it will continue to give more and more happiness with every moment that passes. In the world, when there is a very big happiness, it goes down with the passage of time. First Rasgulla gives 100% happiness. Second one, 75% happiness. Third one, 60%. And in such a manner, the happiness received from the Rasgulla goes down to 0. And then it even goes into the negative. That same Rasgulla is making you feel sick. You feel like throwing up. But Maharasras keeps on increasing with every moment that passes. Now, we wish to drink that nectar. We want Maharasras. Why would we not? Who would not want happiness that continues forever, happiness that is unlimited, everlasting, and ever increasing? We want that. How can we get that? We can receive that happiness, and our aim should be to receive that Maharasras. We should not look down. We should look at the highest aim. We should strive not for a lower nectar, the highest, the sweetest nectar of Maharasras. But we cannot have it without the help of a Rasik saint. We need to be taught how to love God selflessly from someone who has loved God, who does love God selflessly. Someone who has himself attained the nectar of Maharas, only such a one can be accepted as the Guru if we want Maharasras for ourselves. Fortunately, such a Rasik saint appeared on earth in 1922 on Sharad Poornima night. He deliberately took birth on this night, Sharad Poornima night, because His mission was clear. He was going to distribute the nectar of the Maharas to all who want to drink it. So Jagatguru Sri Kripaluji Maharaj took birth on Sharad Poornima night. So tonight is doubly auspicious for us. It is the night of the Maharas, and it is the divine birthday of Jagatguru Sri Kripaluji Maharaj, the great, great Rasik saint. Sri Maharajji was born in a tiny village called Mangad near Allahabad in the state of Uttar Pradesh in India. And he was declared the fifth authentic Jagatguru by 500 most learned scholars that made up the organization Kashi Vidvat Parishad. The 500 scholars tested Sri Maharajji's knowledge and devotion, and they declared to the entire world that he is a divine being who has come expressly to teach others. Sri Maharajji had no guru. He did not learn from anyone. He came to this world perfect. He descended to earth as a Rasik saint, and he came expressly to distribute the nectar of the Maharas to anyone who wanted to drink it. By following his teachings, by loving Sri Krishna selflessly, we too can drink the nectar of the Maharas. We too can drink that sweetest nectar. We too can receive that greatest happiness. Because then we will have the opportunity to serve Sri Krishna in the best way possible. We can serve him for all eternity, and we can serve him the most as selfless devotees. The ones who desire nothing, the ones who desire nothing at all, not even their own happiness, especially their own happiness, they do not desire it. They receive the sweetest nectar. They who are 50-50, I want to receive my happiness. I want to give my beloved happiness as well. They become the queens of Lord Krishna in Dwarika. Their love is Samanjasarati, whereas completely selfless love is called Samartharati. The queens of Lord Krishna in Dwarika, the chief one being Rukmini. Rukmini ji did not participate in the Maharas because her love was not completely selfless. Hers was a 50-50 love. I wish to make my beloved Lord and husband happy, but I want him to make me happy as well. Whereas the most selfless, Samartharati gopis, had only one thought on their minds, and that is, how can I make him happy? What will make him happy? What will make him smile? When Uddhavji went to these gopis and then he was going back to Shri Krishna, he asked, do you have a message to send? These Samartharati gopis said, Uddhavji, you can give him any message you want, but make sure that he keeps smiling. He should not be in the least unhappy hearing what you have to say. So tell him whatever you want from us on our behalf, but make sure that he remains happy, that he does not become unhappy. We will have to love Sri Krishna in this way, following the teachings of Jagatguru Sri Kripaluji Maharaj. He was the Guru of the world. He is the Guru of the world. He's the Guru of Gurus. He is Jagatguru. Although Sri Maharajji has physically left us, but we feel his presence very strongly. We feel that he has not left us at all. He's here in the form of his teachings, his beautiful bhajans and kirtans, and his personality still overwhelms us with love, with kindness, his generosity. We will never forget. A Rasik saint appeared on this earth in our lifetime. We are so fortunate that our fortune, there are no words to explain, to describe that kind of fortune. We have been blessed. Lord Krishna has smiled upon us, and we've had the opportunity to have the physical association of Jagatguru Sri Kripaluji Maharaj. And for those who did not, if you still meditate upon him and you shed tears for him, I can tell you with confidence, supreme confidence, that he will appear before you and he will let you know that he's very much with you. Just follow his teachings, get to know his philosophy, do sadhana as prescribed by him, and one day, Maharaj's invitation will be yours. If we keep on loving Shri Krishna selflessly, if we keep on following the Rasik saints' instructions, then one day we too will hear the sound that Samartha Rati Gopis hear when Shri Krishna plays the flute on a magical night, on Sharad Poornima night. To one and all, I wish a very happy Sharad Poornima and happy birthday to our dearest Shri Maharaj Ji. Boliye Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki jai. Jagat Guru Shri Kripalu Ji Maharaj ki jai. Boliye Maharas Leela ki jai. Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Jai Jai Shri Radhe.